I have been looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because I love the first Guardians. I really quite liked the second one. I didn't like it as much as the first, but I quite liked it. James Gunn did another solid job. And I've been looking forward to Guardians 3, but that anticipation got kicked into overdrive when I saw the Guardians Holiday Special. And you just realize how much I love these characters, and I love the way they interact with each other, and I'm dying to see it. Now, James Gunn has told us that for a long time that this version of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, will be the final time we see this collection of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which left a lot of people wondering, do some of the characters die? Do they just go off? Well, one person we now know officially, even though we've suspected this for a long time anyway, but now we officially know will not be back, is Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista has now come out and he's just made it official. He's not leaving any questions about it. This is the last time that we are going to see him in this role. He wrote this. He said, "I'm so grateful for Drax. I love him, but there's a relief that it's over. It wasn't all pleasant. It was hard playing that role. The makeup process was beating me down." I have to imagine that's absolutely true. The makeup process was beating me down, and I just don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance, and I want to do more dramatic stuff. He also then posted on Twitter, he said the following on Twitter. He said, "Drax isn't going anywhere. He just won't be played by this dude. By the time Guardians 3 comes out, I'll be 54 years old, for God's sakes. I'm experiencing everything starting sagging. I'm expecting everything to start sagging any second now," which I thought was a great post by him. So it's become clear this is going to be the last time we see him. Now, we've been preparing for this as fans of the character for a long time, ever since Disney originally fired James Gunn. Like, Dave Bautista came out both barrels blazing against Disney, saying, "Well, I'm done with you. Like, blah, blah, the way you treated James and blah, blah, blah." But then, of course, James comes back and all this kind of stuff. Now he's down. So I think I've lost count. How many times has Dave Bautista appeared as Drax? I mean, obviously the two Guardians, Infinity, Endgame,
Thor: Love and Thunder,
Thor: Love and Thunder, the holiday
special.
I mean, he's done his duty, man. He's played this role, and he's been great in it. It's a role that put him on the map. Although I will say this, and let me preface what I'm about to say by saying you're going to have a hard time finding many fans who appreciate Dave Bautista as much as I do. When we did our 24-hour typhoon relief marathon, the first celebrity to step up and say, "Hey, I'll do something," was Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista recorded this great message and sent it in for our 24-hour stream. For that, he was great. One of my favorite interviews I've ever done was in Hollywood. They were recording a scene they were doing the press junket at this bar in Hollywood for Man with the Iron Fists, and that he did with RZA and stuff like that. And I went down and sit down with him. And I remember it was one of the best interviews I've ever had to do, because the guy's just sitting there, and Dave Bautista at the time, just so humble. He's like, "Look, I know I'm not the greatest actor in the world. It's a dream that somebody like me gets to do this now for a living. I'm so grateful that I get to be in movies. I mean, this is me." And then when I spoke to him with his James Bond appearance, same attitude, just like, "I can't believe this is so great." Dave has said some things in recent years that is like, that's not the same guy that I talked to over Man with the Iron Fist. Like, remember when the rumors and reports came out that he might do a Fast and the Furious movie, and he made that comment that was something along the lines of, "I don't want to do Fast and Furious. I want to do good movies." It's like, oh, come on, Dave. That's out of character for you. And also for him to saying, "I don't want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance. I want to do more dramatic stuff." And I just remember thinking, listen, to be fair, there's nothing completely unreasonable with that. There is nothing completely unreasonable with what he just said. But I just remember thinking to myself, whenever that's not what the Dave I spoke to in Hollywood when he was making Man with the Iron Fist would have said, right? Can you imagine, as somebody who dreamed of being in movies, saying, "You know what, the biggest movie franchise in the world, you're going to be in 6 of those films, and celebrated and beloved by audience and bring joy to millions of people, and be given a role that millions would kill for."
Got a hot toy.
And you're gonna have hot toys made out of you and all that kind of stuff. The reason you get to be in Zack Snyder films or in James Bond films or in whatever, the reason you get to be in those films is because of what the Drax performance gave you. So I listen, I know, I appreciate the fact that he says, I've loved my time as Drax. I love Drax, all that kind of stuff. He didn't need to say the other things, but it's fine, whatever. And you know what? If this is indeed his last performance as it, just tip of the cap to Dave Bautista. You gave this movie fan a lot of smiles and a lot of joy over the last bunch of years that you've played the role. You made me laugh and you made me appreciate you a lot.
I just want to say, and whether he likes it or not, a lot of kids are going to, when they see him in public, they're going to say, Drax. Hey, Drax. Just like probably kids will do with Robert Downey Jr. They're not going to call him Robert Downey. They're going to say, hey, that's Iron Man.
That's Tony Stark.
You know, so that thing from the younger viewers or the younger fans, I think it's something that he should appreciate. Like he's going to be seen as Drax by some people for the rest of his life.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say you never know what'll happen, but he will never have a bigger role in his life. 99.9999% of actors would never have a bigger role for the rest of their career. I mean, that's insane, the success he's had. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you get another 3 months for free. Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I've been using Mint Mobile long before this holiday deal, and I have to say it is the perfect time to switch. I have absolutely loved using Mint Mobile, and like I've told you guys many times, I am now spending less than 1/3 of what I used to spend under one of the other major mobile carriers. And now with the whole buy 3 months, get 3 months free deal, it's even better. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. Or if you need a new device, for a limited time, get 6 months of free service when you buy a select device and plan. So guys, for a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months for free by going to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, Dave Bautista's just letting the fans know, I'm done. Is this him suggesting that Drax maybe dies? I mean, he says, hey, listen, this isn't necessarily the last you're going to see of the big guy. It just won't be played by me. I don't know. Do you think Drax survives Guardians 3?
No. I think he's going to die. I think he's going to die because he's been on a quest. I mean, you know, his family. He's lost his family, and I think he's going to go out in a big way. It's going to be a big sacrificial scene. It's going to make everybody cry. I think it's going to be great. But, you know, I think Dave Bautista has acquitted himself admirably. I mean, he was great, I thought, Glass Onion. You know, he was
very funny.
That was very funny in
Yes, he
Glass
was.
Onion. He's now been, even though they were small roles, Denis Villeneuve put him in Blade Runner 2049 at the beginning of the film, and he played Raban in Dune.
Yep.
So, and his scene, I really liked his scene when he confronts Baron Harkonnen and says, why is this happening? Why do we have to give up everything we've worked for on Arrakis, not knowing that plans were afoot? And I really think he's become a better actor over the years.
Oh, he absolutely has.
You know,
Yes.
and like I didn't think he was particularly good in Spectre, the Bond film, because they didn't give him anything to do.
Yeah.
He has, unfortunately, also wasn't very good in Stuber. Was that the name of that we did? And I love both. I love Kumail Nanjiani. I love Dave Bautista. Wasn't very big on either of their performances.
He needs a sure directorial hand, I think, to understand how to use him.
I'm glad he got that small part in 2049. I know it was tiny, but it still was a good.
He was
part.
really good in it.
It showed a very different side to him that he could, you know, I mean, granted, it was very short, but it showed that he could do more than what we had thought he could do previously to that.
And he also was in there was one of the 3 short films, the preview, the movie, the shorts that came out before Blade Runner 2049.
Right, yeah.
His character was in one of those, and he was good.
And because you hear about this, I guess, number one, what do you think about him mentioning to the fans, hey, this is the last time I'm going to be in this? And what do you think? Do you think this is going to be the last we see? Do you think Drax dies in this one? Do you think they'll just recast it and carry on? What do you think is going to happen here?
I think Drax is going to go off on his own journey and then come back at some point as another actor. Because, you know, this is also somebody who we've grown to love Bautista in the role, but he is a heavily prosthetic character. So it's not like we're going to go, oh my gosh, that's not my Drax. We're going to have somebody else come in after we have a little palate cleanser. So I view this.
I mean,
Do you think he's alive at the end of Guardians?
I
3?
do. I think he's going to be alive.
Yeah, exactly. To your point, Chris, he could just go away, and then when he comes back, they're like, "You look different. People change, man."
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, a little like a Don Cheadle
It's been a
line in
while.
Iron Man
Yeah.
2 or
Exactly.
something like that.
Exactly. So I think that could all work out. And I do think that he's very grateful for having done this role. I think he's loved playing Drax. But, you know, as an actor, you do want to stretch yourself and you want to find out what you can do and add more things to your tool belt, right? You don't want to be just known for one role, but gosh, you are so lucky if you are. That being said, being known for something so goofy, comedy is so much harder than drama. It is so much harder to get people to laugh with and or
Yeah.
at you than to make someone cry, because most people, for the most part, have empathy. So when we watch a really, really troubling emotional scene, we as human beings react to that naturally. When somebody else cries, a lot of times you have the inclination to reach out and comfort them, or you start crying yourself. Making someone laugh is much more difficult, and he's been able to do that really, really well. So I think he should also recognize that this is a really good actor flex that he's been able to bring to the table.
Well, listen, look, I'm not going to overemphasize it. He's not ever going to win an Academy Award, but when you look at him in Glass Onion, that's a different actor than the one who was in Man with the Iron Fist or the first Guardians of the Galaxy, right? He's progressed and developed a lot as a performer.
He's been able to be more transformative than some other actors.
Yeah.
I don't watch things and go, that's Dave Bautista in a role again.
Yeah.
Where it's, oh, I love this character he's playing.
Also, you know, when you're an actor and you didn't come up being a film actor, even learning where the camera is
Oh,
and
yeah.
how to play, like, I think as you develop, you understand skills that you might not even know you need.
Knowing how to use the depth of the frame.
Absolutely.
By the way, one thing that I love that he said is that he's clearly also very self-aware that his window of being able to just get by on being the big hulking guy that window is not closed, but it's closing.
Yeah.
He said, listen, I'm 54 years old now. Things are going to start sagging here any minute now. Things are going to start sagging. Obviously, he's still got a couple of good years in front of him that he can play those roles, I believe. But he's looking now. He's got the foresight to think, time for me to transition a bit. And I hope he succeeds. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about Dave Bautista mentioning that this is my last go around in the MCU? And what do you think the repercussions of that are for Drax, the character himself? Do you think he'll die in it? Do you think we'll see the character again like Dave Bautista suggests? I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts.